Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whatever time it is you're tapping in with us here at the Under Gun Line Podcast YouTube channel. I'm glad you came by. I am D'Lo, also known as D'Lo the Vet Bro, or just simply Danny. Check it. Today I'm gonna be doing a video regarding the uh, the incident that occurred in Georgia with a 14-year-old. Their father, who is now being criminally charged as well. And breaking news as well is that the mom tried to give a call to the school 30 minutes prior. So, with that being said, welcome to Word on the Streets. So, check it. Word on the Streets is right now, the mother actually tried to call the school about 30 minutes prior to the gunfire starting out there at the high school where this incident happened out in Georgia. So that leads to tell me that tells me that the mom knew something was cracking, something was popping. I just need to know, how does she know? You know what I mean? The father apparently must have been out of the loop. He must have been out working because I've been doing some digging. I've been doing some research. All this I need to say stems from, and shout out to the homie Gunner from Gunner's Collective TV. Y'all go check out and tap into his channel if you haven't done so. He also has collective clips. Tap into that, man. He is really entertaining with his content. He will make you laugh. He will make you think. He will give you a whole different perspective. And what I like about it is that, it's someone that I know I can have a conversation with respectfully. We may agree on a lot of things, but even if we don't agree on things, it's done in a respectful way. So shout out to Gunner. I was gonna bring his video here and react to it, but if anything, I'll reach out to him and see if he would like to have a conversation with us here on the gun line and talk about it a little bit more, go more in depth. But I know that him, like me, don't really want to give this the clout that 14-year-old might be chasing. But anywho, with that said, go tap in with Gunners Collective at Collective Clips or Gunners Collective TV. All right, let's keep beating this dead horse now. The mother knew that something was cracking, and that's what apparently the sister has told the Associated Press or to the news, whoever the news channels are. According to the Associated Press, the mother knew what was going on because the sister received some text messages that she provided the screenshots with, as well as the records showing that she attempted to call the school about 30 minutes before the gunfire started. Now, she contacted the school to let them know, like, hey, my son, y'all need to find him immediately. It's going to be a big emergency. There's some kind of a big emergency. And I'm just so you know, I'm ad-libbing here. I don't have the notes in front of me. But what it boils down to is that there was forewarning. Okay. So what ends up happening? This 14-year-old kid apparently takes an AR style rifle and commits these atrocities, unfortunately taking the wind away from four innocent people who were just out there expecting to just be there another day in school. Two of them were students and two of them were teachers. And God rest their souls, man. For who would have thought that was the last thing on their mind that day? I'm gonna go to school and get popped. Who would have thought that? Well, because of those actions, the father has now been arrested. All right, the father has been arrested, and he's been in charge. He's now been charged with manslaughter because of this. And that's what I disagree with 100%, that this kid's father should not be charged. Was he negligent? Maybe. Were there signs that apparently this kid was having, some trouble and trauma? According to what I've been reading, yes. So, according to what I've been reading, all right, and I want to throw this out there right now, all right, before anybody tries to jump on my ass. I'm not justifying or backing up any actions that this 14-year-old kid did do. All right. He might be 14, but he did the actions of an adult. Now, should he be treated or tried as an adult? That's another conversation that we can have at another time. Right now, what we're going to talk about is the father. So the father has been charged with, I want to say, 4 counts of manslaughter. Okay, 4 counts of manslaughter, while the son has been charged with 4 counts of murder. And the reason that you're charging him is because they said that he knowingly and willingly gave his son an AR style weapon as a gift. All right. So, first of all, let's rewind a little bit. First things first, AR does not stand for assault rifle. All right. There's a lot of y'all out there that probably think that AR stands for assault rifle. Now, I will say, I will challenge you to this. Please explain to me what is an assault rifle. Okay. I need to know what an assault rifle is. Please explain that to me, and then we'll get back at this. But apparently, he had bought the kid that weapon as a gift last year around the Christmas time because the kid was getting more involved in hunting with his pops. Now, from my understanding, is that the father and the mother separated like in 2022. According to what I'm reading right now, it says an eviction upended the Grace family in summer of 2022. On July 25th of that year, a sheriff's deputy was dispatched to the rental home on a suburban cul-de-sac where Colin Gray, his wife, Colt, and the boy's 2 younger siblings lived. A moving crew was piling their belongings in the yard. All right, so they were evicted out of this home back in 2022, in the summer of 2022. All right, the movers found guns and hunting bows in the closet in the master bedroom, but they took that over to the deputy for safekeeping. Let's see. And after the eviction, the wife left him, taking the 2 younger siblings with her. And then Colt struggled at first with the separation and all. That the father, who worked a construction job. So of course he struggled. He struggled because he saw his mom and his pops leave, and then the mom takes 2 of the kids and says, "I'm chucking deuces." How does that make the boy feel already right there? How's Colt gonna end up feeling? And it's just, I'm trying to paint a picture of this kid that, obviously this is something that might have been building up, you know? So anyway, I'm the sole provider doing high rises in downtown. Sent the data to the investigators, and so the boy was also described as quiet. Let's see. The investigator also interviewed the boy back then when he was 13, who described him in the report as quiet, calm, and reserved. He denied making any threats and said that months earlier he had stopped using the Discord platform where the school threat was posted. He later told his father his account had been hacked. All right. Now that I don't know. There's a little bit too much into the weeds there that we can go into. Was it hacked? Was it not hacked? Did he make those threats? Did he not make those threats? I'll tell you this. I know that the government can easily tap through your phone and find out where you've been at. So I know that they can easily go through your computer and find out if you were hacked or not, or if you did make those threats. So I don't understand why they didn't investigate further on that. Uh, The only thing I have is TikTok, but I just go on there to watch videos, he said, as a teen. So again, this is back in 2023. All right. When they were investigating him for apparently allegedly making threats on a Discord that he was, that had to do with the school. Let's see. And then a year before they would both end up charged in a high school shooting, Colin Gray insisted to the sheriff's investigator that his son wasn't the type to threaten violence. Excuse me. I'm still sick. I'm still under the weather, man. So he's not a loner, Officer Miller said. Don't get that. The father said, adding, he just wants to go to school and do his own thing and doesn't want any trouble. So he's saying all this because his son was bullied at school. All right. Now, here's the thing about bullying at school. And this might twist a lot of people's panties into a bunch. I think bullying is a good thing, but hear me out. Bullying is a good thing when the person being bullied is allowed to defend themselves, is allowed to make an attempt to stop the bullying physically. What do I mean by that? Nowadays, in a lot of schools, there's a zero tolerance when it comes down to being physically um, in a physical altercation with other students. Look, we grew up in a different era. I get it. 80s and 90s, completely different. Code of the schoolyard was you go out there, fisticuffs, and handle your business. All the way from elementary school to high school. In high school, you'd be going under the bleachers and chunking them. Out in fucking in elementary school and junior high, or in elementary school, being recess time, you go over by the monkey bars, bink, 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 handle your business. In junior high school, hey, wherever you go on nutrition or at lunch, you out there swinging. So what I'm getting at is that because they took that away, kids no longer have that outlet of being able to face their bully, you know? Bullying humbled people. Bullying also made heroes of people, if you think about it, because if you saw somebody getting bullied that couldn't defend themselves, that's when another person will come and be like, "Hey, pick on somebody your own size, homie. Come on, let's go." You know what I mean? And then that bully would get humbled. So I think that bullying had its place in school and still does. And the problem is, unfortunately, that nowadays everything is a fucking mental problem. God forbid a kid is getting taunted and poked on and bullied, and they try to go and tell the teacher, and they tell the teacher, "Hey, teacher, can you tell this person to please stop?" And the teacher will be like, "Okay, hey, Tyler, please stop yelling." And Tyler's gonna be like, "Fuck you, teacher. I'm gonna keep picking on this motherfucker just like I pick on you." You know what I mean? So what ends up happening is that the kid either A gets all depressed because nobody's fucking helping them, and then been told, don't put your hands on them, don't put your hands on them. What's gonna happen? All this rage is gonna bottle up, y'all. It's like a fucking soda pop fucking bottle. You shake it up enough, it's gonna build pressure. And then what ends up happening is gonna blow its fucking top off, y'all. So what do I say? Fuck it. If somebody's being bullied, let them go at it. Let them fucking throw hands at each other. And then you know what? Let them get it out of it. Then you get fucking you go to get suspended, the end. And if there's a pattern of somebody being a fucking bully, then you kick them the fuck out and you send them to the fucking special schools. You know why? I say this out of experience. All right, out of experience. When my oldest was getting verbally fucking attacked all the fucking time, and I told her we don't put hands on people unless they put their hands on their hands on us. They started, we finish it. But unfortunately, those fuckers knew how to fucking poke her fucking buttons and push her buttons. And she would tell them, shut up, leave me alone. She would start getting louder. And guess what? She's the one getting in trouble because she's the one getting antagonized by these boys. And apparently, these boys, they thought, oh, she's a girl. She ain't going to stand up for herself. Homie, that's not how Lopez's roll. My daughter took flight on these motherfuckers and beat they shit in. So, anywho, long story short, not that I condone it, but it needed to get done. All right. And now she's on online schooling because you know what? The school systems are shit. It's not for everybody, and definitely not for my oldest. But anywho, yes, bullying. Let's go. He gets flustered under pressure. He doesn't really think straight. Middle school has also been rough for Colt Gray. Just finished 7th grade. So basically, he was getting into fights, yo. And what trips me out is the dad bought these weapons. He even said shooting guns and hunting were frequent pastimes. You know, it's encouraging him to be more active outdoors and spend less time video games. When Colt shot his first deer months earlier, his father swelled with pride. You know what I'm saying? They're down South Georgia, so you know that shit's a big thing. What I'm saying is, y'all, before we just make it seem like this kid just decided to go out there and blast everybody for no reason, and again, not justifying it, but what was the root cause of all this? And is the father really at fault? Is the father really at fault? Why? Because he bought a gift for his son that he most likely he's apparently there's he had access to all the weapons. So even if he hadn't had bought it for his son per se, the kid would have still had access to all the other weapons. He could have taken a bow and arrow out there and fucking straight out just murk fools with the goddamn arrows. So explain to me, would that have led to the father being charged with any kind of a manslaughter? Let's say the father had bought him a bow and arrow for bow hunting. Would he be in trouble for manslaughter on that? Where does it stop? And again, it's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope, y'all. When you start not just holding accountable the perpetrator, but whoever may or may not have provided them. And I don't want to say has provided them. He had access to it. And I get all of us out there all of those out there that have weapons know to keep them somewhere safe. All right. But a lot of people can't afford a safe. So they just put them like in the garage, especially down south. Down south, having weapons is not a fucking, it's not one of those far-fetched thoughts like it is out in the cities. Out in LA, New York, it's probably like, oh no, we got to keep that shit like behind here and there and fucking three keys, goddamn lick the goddamn DNA sampler, whatever. Some places you just put them behind a goddamn glass case with a key, which if somebody really wanted to, they could still get into it. That's all I'm saying. So did he think that his son was going to go out that day and cap people with the weapon that he bought him as a gift to probably encourage him to continue to go outside and go hunt? And where does it stop, fellas? That's my biggest issue that I'm having with this. You know, the school system failed him. The investigators failed him. The father most likely failed him. Probably not seeing the signs. Because as parents, let's be 100% frank here. As parents, we don't want to see the worst in our children. We don't want to think that our kids are capable of going out to do something like this. Unfortunately, it did happen this time. 4 kids were killed. But if you guys use this person as an example, be prepared for the day that if one of your children borrow your car and get into an accident and unfortunately kill some people, that you're going to be held responsible for it. You're going to be held accountable because you provided him the keys to use that vehicle that ended up killing people down the street. That's the slippery slope that I'm talking about, y'all. They're making an example out of this because of the weapon. That's all it is, y'all. Because of the weapon, I guarantee you. Had it been a bow and arrow, would they be making it a big deal with the parent? Let me ask you something. And this is going to be a stretch, but let me ask you something. Let's say my son likes to play baseball and he's at practice for the baseball team at school. He's trying out. I bought him a bat, and called it his lucky baseball bat that he can use. And with that baseball bat, I think that he's going to make X number of home runs and whatnot. All right. Well, let's say he gets beamed by the pitcher, gets angry, runs the mound with the baseball bat, and swings it on the fucking pitcher's head and cracks it open. Am I now responsible for what happened to that pitcher because I bought him that baseball bat that he used to commit an atrocity that I never saw coming? Y'all let me know. With that, that's today's word on the streets. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Happy football Sunday. Deuces.